back to One Bar and Lupagus Show. I am Lupagus. As you can see, I'm about ready to go out and catch me a big deer. Before I do that, I'm going to quickly go over this week's fantasy football focus as it pertains to the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Let's start on the Lions side of the ball because the Lions have a couple players who historically do very, very well against the Vikings. The first guy who jumps out is wide receiver Marvin Jones, who will be the #1 target on Sunday. He had the game last year against the Vikings where he had like 9 receptions for 4 touchdowns and well over 130 yards or so. Again, you look at the matchup going against our secondary that's completely inexperienced to start with, and it's super thinned out. The chances of him having another game like that are very, very high. He may not have his buddy Matt Stafford throwing him the football, and maybe Chase Daniel. I don't think it matters. If you have Marvin Jones in any league or looking for a cheap option in a daily fantasy league, I think Marvin Jones is a very, very safe bet this week. Another Viking killer who plays on the Lions is their kicker, Matt Prater. This guy routinely nails very, very long field goals against the Vikings, whether it's 50 yards, 57, 55, 62, it doesn't matter. If he lines up to kick against the Vikings, it is going through. Be very, very shocked if he does not have well over 12 points as a kicker tomorrow. And let's see, a couple other sneaky plays. Well, let's just look at the Lions running backs. Adrian Peterson, he's going to be pumped to face his former team again, so he'll be running hard. He may not get a lot of yards, but wouldn't be surprised if he punched one in. DeAndre Swift's kind of a hard guy to predict. The Lions don't use him consistently. The Vikings have done okay against backs this year, but if he got a score or two, I wouldn't be surprised. But yardage-wise, I don't think he'll do too much. A couple of sneaky plays on the Lions side. We heard it from Dosa Dion. He talked about Marvin Hall. This guy is fast as hell, and if he is elevated to the #2 receiver, I think he could have a big game. So he's a sneaky play to look for there. And one of the other solid option would be T.J. Hockenson, the tight end. His role could increase with Kenny Golladay out. So if you have Hockenson, start him with confidence. Even though the Vikings have been a little bit better in recent years, recent games against the tight end position since that Mo Aldi Cox disaster back in week 2. Let's move over to the Vikings side. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is the guy you want to start here. Lions' run defense has not been great. It has been improving, but Cook coming off a huge game, potentially could do it again against this defense. Adam Thielen, he's definitely a sure start. He always does well against the Lions. Justin Jefferson, I would start him as well if you got him. Lions secondary is as dinged up as the Vikings, and some inexperience there with Okudah having a typical rookie corner season of looking good one week and looking bad the next. Another Viking who's very, very, very sneaky right now, has been very quiet, but always seems to do well against the Lions is Kyle Rudolph. Again, a cheap option in a daily league. If you're scrapping the waiver wire looking for something else at tight end, Kyle Rudolph, for whatever reason, seems to get multiple touchdowns almost every time he faces the Lions, so I would definitely consider him. And if Kirk Cousins is ever going to bounce back this week, this is the game he does it. He has always done well against the Lions as well, so maybe Kirk Cousins actually gets some points in a game this week when the game is still to be decided. So that's it. That is your fantasy focus for Vikings Lions this Sunday. Should be a high scoring game, should have a lot of points in it, should be an entertaining watch. So not that we're not going to watch it anyway, but if you're watching it strictly from a fantasy perspective, there should be a lot of points scored, a lot of fireworks, as they say. Alright, well, I'm going to go out in the woods, freeze my ass off. Good luck to anybody hunting today, and always be sure to keep your skull in your hole.